So, how does a skinny kid from a tiny Portuguese island become, well, one of the most famous athletes on the entire planet? Today, we're going to trace the incredible evolution of Cristiano Ronaldo, a story that's about so much more than football. It's really about the making of a global icon. And this phrase, it just nails it, right? It perfectly captures his unbelievable journey, because this is a story that's built on way more than just natural talent. It's really a story about obsession, discipline, and an absolutely unstoppable desire to win. All right, so where does a story like this even begin? Well, forget the giant stadiums for a minute. We've got to go all the way back to the streets of Madeira, Portugal. This is where a young boy's dream wasn't just born, it was literally forged in passion and, frankly, in necessity. Life wasn't exactly easy for the young Ronaldo. Growing up in a pretty modest home, football became his everything. It was his escape, his one single purpose. And that raw desire, that's what fueled him at the sporting CP Academy. His speed, his skills, they were just undeniable. And, it didn't take long for one of the biggest clubs in the world, Manchester United, to notice that spark. Okay, now for the move that changed absolutely everything. Manchester United. And this wasn't just another step in his career. No, this was the crucible. This is where a talented, flashy kid was forged into a world-beating champion. So when he first landed in England, this is pretty much how everybody saw him. He was an exciting talent for sure, but he was raw, a skinny teenager who seemed more focused on flashy stepovers than on just being effective. He definitely had a lot to learn. But learn he did, and he learned under the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson. And all of a sudden, the focus just shifted. It wasn't about the flashy tricks anymore. It became about relentless, brutal training, about sculpting his body into an athletic machine, and about mastering the simple, beautiful art of scoring a goal. The flash was finally being molded into pure substance. And the result of all that hard work? Well, he turned himself into an absolute goal-scoring machine. By that 2007-08 season, he was just unstoppable. He won his first Ballon d'Or and basically announced to the entire world, "I'm the best player on the planet." And that brings us to his next history-making move, a world record transfer to Real Madrid. Look, if Manchester was where the champion was forged, Madrid was where he would become the absolute apex predator of the sport. In Madrid, Ronaldo wasn't just a player, he was a full-on phenomenon. The stats are just mind-bending. He didn't just break records, he shattered them, becoming the club's all-time leading scorer. He delivered multiple Champions League trophies, and he became this complete goal scorer. Free kicks, penalties, and of course those iconic headers, where he just seemed to defy gravity. Now, you absolutely cannot talk about Ronaldo's time in Madrid without talking about Lionel Messi. As you see here, it was this incredible clash of styles that defined a whole era of football. You had Ronaldo, the powerful athletic finisher, up against Messi, the dribbling magician. And this constant battle, it didn't just entertain us, it pushed both of them to heights we'd never seen before. After achieving literally everything there was to achieve in spinning, a lot of athletes might have started to slow down. But not Ronaldo. No, he set out on a brand new mission to prove that his greatness wasn't tied to one club or one league. It was time to conquer some new frontiers. This timeline just shows his relentless hunger. In 2016, he finally achieved a lifelong dream, leading Portugal to a historic Euro victory. From there, he conquered a new league in Italy with Juventus, made an emotional hero's return to Manchester United, and then, in a move that honestly shocked the world, he took on a new global role with Al-Nassr, proving his incredible longevity and unmatched appeal. Okay, the story is incredible. We get it. But to really, truly grasp his impact, we have to look at the staggering numbers. Because his career isn't just a great story, it's a statistical masterpiece. Just look at that number. Over 800 career goals. Let that sink in for a second. That's a figure that most professional players wouldn't even dream of. It puts him right at the top, one of the highest goal scorers in the entire history of football. It's insane. But here's the thing. It was never just about how many goals he scored. It was about how he scored them. He was the complete attacker. You had the powerful headers where he'd just hang in the air, the long-range screamers that would stun an entire stadium into silence, and maybe most important of all, those clutch last-minute winners, right when his team needed him the most. So what's the secret sauce behind all those numbers? It's this. His true legacy isn't just the stats on a page, it's the mindset that produced them. The CR7 mentality. It's a formula, really. Unwavering discipline, relentless hard work, and a burning desire to win that just never, ever goes away. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? He didn't just play the game, he changed it. Through his obsessive dedication to his physical condition and his non-stop pursuit of records, he totally transformed what it means to be a modern athlete. He set a new standard for everyone who came after him. And so, after we've traced this absolutely epic journey from Madeira to global superstardom, we're left with the ultimate question, the one that fuels endless debate among fans everywhere. Is he the greatest of all time? We've laid out the evidence, the story, the numbers. Now it's your turn to decide.